Hi, my name is Christine. I'm 71 years old and I live in Malibu, California. My world is 100% pink. Fuchsia walls, 400 blush dresses in my closet, pink dinnerware, and even my little dog Biscuit is pink with his matching pink sweater. People call me obsessive. They call me weird, they've called me worse things, and I just smile because while they're talking, I'm busy building the exact world I want to live in. But let me tell you how it all started. I grew up in a gray world. I was born and raised in Toronto, Canada. If you've ever lived in Toronto in the winter, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Gray. Everything was gray. The sky was gray. The streets were gray. People wore gray, black, dark brown. It was like living inside an old photograph that nobody bothered to develop properly. The house I grew up in with my mother was minimalist, completely white, no personality whatsoever. My mother used to say that simplicity was luxury. I was a little girl with a huge imagination, stuck in a place with no color. When I was 8 years old, my Aunt Gloria came to visit us from Miami. She walked in wearing a bright fuchsia dress that practically glowed. I stood frozen in the doorway watching her come in. My mom told her she looked very flashy. I thought, that's exactly what I want to be. Flashy, present. Impossible to ignore. For years, I kept living in the Canadian gray. I studied graphic design, worked at an advertising agency in Toronto, had a neutral apartment, professional clothes, a completely normal life. But I bought pink things in secret, a pink wallet that I kept hidden inside another purse so no one would see it. I still don't understand why I was embarrassed to use the color I loved. Small objects I kept in a drawer and pulled out when I was alone, just to look at them, like they were my private treasures. At 32, I ended a long relationship. It was brutal. One of those breakups that leaves you not knowing who you are. And I remember one night, alone in that beige apartment we used to share, I opened the drawer, took out all my pink things, and spread them out on the bed, and I cried. Not from sadness. I cried because I realized I had spent years hiding. That night, I decided I would never hide again. First, I painted one wall of my bedroom a soft pink, almost salmon. My friends came over and gave me that look. Are you okay? Yes. It was the first time in years I felt like myself. Then I painted another wall, then the bathroom. Then I changed the sheets, then the curtains. My friends stopped coming over as often. My mom called, worried. My boss made a comment about my outfit in a meeting, something about professional image. I ignored it. And then I discovered something that changed my life forever. I discovered the law of attraction. I don't say that as an empty motivational phrase. I mean it seriously, with real conviction, because I lived it. I started studying how energy works, how your thoughts and your environment create your reality. And I understood something very simple. If you live surrounded by what you love, you attract more of what you love. Pink for me wasn't just a color. It was a frequency. It was joy. It was the version of myself I had always wanted to be and had always been afraid to show. Every pink object in my life was a declaration. I exist, I am real, and I am not going to apologize for that. California called my name. At 38, I made the biggest decision of my life. I left Toronto. I left the cold, I left the gray, I left the culture of don't be so flashy. I moved to California, and California welcomed me with sunshine, with color, with people who understood that life is supposed to look as good as it feels. I rented a house in Malibu with ocean views, and the very first thing I did before unpacking a single box was paint the living room pink. A bright, intense, impossible to ignore pink. The real estate agent asked if I was sure. I told him absolutely yes. He said it would lower the property value. I told him I didn't care because I was never planning to sell. California gave me freedom, and freedom gave me money, because when you finally allow yourself to be completely who you are, something unlocks. I started my own design firm. My clients came to me specifically because of my aesthetic. My weirdness became my brand. What was considered a flaw in Toronto became my superpower here. My obsession turned into $1 million life. When I say everything in my life is pink, I mean it literally. Let me give you the rundown. My Malibu home has pink walls in every single room, different shades, but all within the pink family. My kitchen has pastel pink cabinets, my refrigerator is pink. Yes, I found a pink refrigerator from an Italian brand that cost more than my mother's car. I bought it without thinking twice. My car is a pink metallic convertible Mercedes. I had it custom painted. People photograph me at red lights. I love it. My clothes are 100% pink. That's not an exaggeration. 2 years ago, I opened my closet and took out everything that wasn't pink. Everything. Bags, shoes, clothes, accessories. I donated it or sold it. Since that day, I haven't bought a single thing that isn't pink. People ask me how I manage to attend formal events. I go in pink. I've been asked to dress appropriately for certain meetings. I haven't. If my presence isn't welcome in my pink clothes, then my presence isn't welcome at all. My office, my studio, my personal gym, all pink. I have fresh pink flowers delivered every 3 days. I have pink art, pink sculptures, books with pink covers that I organized on my shelves by color palette. My phone has a pink case. My laptop is pink. My car has pink interior. My credit cards, when I get to choose, are pink. My suitcases are pink, which makes spotting them at the airport the easiest part of any trip. And then there's Biscuit. My little dog Biscuit. Biscuit is a 4-year-old Maltese, tiny, adorable, and fully integrated into my pink world. People always ask about him, so I'll be honest. Yes, Biscuit has pink outfits. Several of them. He has a hand-knitted pink sweater that cost me $300. He has a pink bed with his name embroidered on it. He has a pink stroller for when we walk along the beach, and he gets tired. Did I dye him pink? Once, I tried a temporary pet-safe dye, completely safe, approved for animal use. His ears came out a very soft pink, almost unnoticeable. I posted it on Instagram, and within 24 hours, I had 200,000 new followers and also 100 comments calling me a monster. Half the internet loved me, and the other half hated me. Both reactions got me exactly the same number of followers. I wouldn't do it again. Not because I cared about anyone's opinion, but because Biscuit seemed uncomfortable during the process.
And his is the only opinion that matters to me in this world.
But his sweaters, his leashes, his bed, his bowl, his stroller, all still pink, and he is the most photographed thing on my Instagram. People assume this is superficial, that it's vanity, that it's a woman with too much money and not enough judgment. And I get why they think that, because we live in a culture that rewards neutrality, that associates seriousness with dark colors, that thinks you have to look like life hurts you in order to be taken seriously. I think the exact opposite. I believe most people live in colors they never chose, in homes that don't reflect who they are, wearing clothes they buy so other people will approve of them, working jobs they endure just to avoid making waves. And they call that maturity. I call it a wasted life. Every decision I made toward pink was a decision toward myself. It was telling the world, this is who I am. I'm not apologizing. I'm not asking permission. I exist fully and without filters. Do you know how many people message me privately saying they wish they had the courage to live like me? Hundreds. They tell me they also have their own version of pink hidden in a drawer. Their real passion that no one can see. their true identity that they only let out when they're alone. I always tell them the same thing. Take it out of the drawer, right now, not tomorrow. The law of attraction is real. Don't ask me to prove it scientifically. I don't need to. I have my life as proof. When I was the Grey Christine from Toronto, I earned well, but lived with constant fear that everything would fall apart. When I started building my pink world, when I started surrounding myself only with what I loved, when I stopped wasting energy apologizing for who I am, something changed. Contracts came on their own, opportunities showed up in ways I never planned, the right people entered my life, and the people who drained my energy, the ones who asked me to be more normal, disappeared naturally. I don't think it's magic. I think that when you're aligned with yourself, you make better decisions. You see opportunities you couldn't see before because you were too busy trying to fit in. Your energy is different and people feel it. You attract what you radiate. I radiate pink. And what has come to me through that frequency has been better than anything I ever imagined back when I was that little girl in the beige bedroom in Toronto. If you made it all the way here thinking this woman is crazy, that's okay. You can keep thinking that. I don't need your approval to be happy. That is exactly the main lesson of my entire story. But if you made it here thinking something about her resonates with me, then listen closely. You have a color. It doesn't have to be pink. It can be anything. It can be a lifestyle, a career, a way of dressing, a passion you've kept hidden because someone once told you it was too much, that it wasn't serious, that it wasn't what people do. Take it out, live it. No apologies. Everything you want already exists. You just have to stop being afraid to want it. I chose pink, and pink chose me. And that, my love, is priceless.